Hey, what's up everyone, Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. And it seems not a single month can go by without yet another attempt by Twitter to commit suicide. This time around, it's with regards to some new rules that they're going to be putting into effect probably about a week from when this video airs. They were forced to give a month's warning thanks to some EU laws that say, well, these companies have to warn people in advance by like 30 days of policy changes before enforcing them. So finally the EU did one thing right. Cause I'd be willing to bet money if it wasn't for this, Twitter would have been more than happy to just start enforcing this the second they announced the new policies. Anyway, in the description box below, I will have a link to their policy changes. And for now, I'm going to go over some of the good bits, specifically in the violence and physical harm and abuse and hateful conduct sections. First off, this is the big one that you've probably heard everybody talking about for the past few weeks. Their new policy on violence. Quote, you may not make specific threats of violence or wish for the serious physical harm, death, or disease of an individual or group of people. This includes, but is not limited to, threatening or promoting terrorism. You also may not affiliate with organizations that, whether by their own statements or activity both on and off the platform, use or promote violence against civilians to further their causes. We will begin enforcing this rule around affiliation with such organizations on December 18th, 2017. End quote. So even if you haven't been paying attention to this, you should be able to tell what the problem is just by, well, what I read to you. The biggest issue here is they're going to be policing who you affiliate with off of their platform. And while this is a huge overstep of what they should be allowed to do, it's also just absolutely ripe for abuse to hilarious levels. Mr. Medicare was dead on when he was pointing this out. Soon as he heard the news, he basically tweeted out, hey, you guys have until December 18th to make fake accounts using the names of people you don't like on Twitter and use them all over neo-Nazi websites. Cause seriously, what sort of protections do you think Twitter has in place here? How are they gonna know whether someone using your name on a different site is really you or just someone else? Someone specifically trying to harm you, or perhaps just someone with the same username on a different site, cause that's been known to happen on the interwebs. Only thing I could think of is perhaps Twitter has more access than we thought to all the spyware data of, say, Facebook, Google, maybe even government data for all we know. Perhaps they're gonna hook into your browser and look at your history, which by the way would make it even more important to use private browsing. There's literally so much that can go wrong here and absolutely nothing that could possibly go right. It's just hilarious. And the best part is we know it'll be selectively enforced. You're gonna see people from the alleged far right and alt-right get taken down left and right. However, I highly doubt we're gonna see accounts associated with Antifa or people tweeting out punch a Nazi. Or even better, accounts associated with By Any Means Necessary, and that name alone should give you an indication of what this group is willing to do. I doubt we're gonna see any of those go away. Even though those groups are responsible for promoting and enacting way more violence than the alleged far right has in recent years, but something tells me they're gonna be given a free pass. Though I hope to be proven wrong in the end here. If Twitter is actually impartial in their enforcement of this, it'll at least make it a little bit more tolerable. Still dangerously wrong to try to police people's behavior off your platform, but if we at least got some consistency from them for once, that would be a step in the right direction. But again, I highly doubt it's going to happen. The left-wingers are going to be allowed to preach and enact all the violence they want without any consequence, while the right won't even be allowed to talk about it. Anyway, moving on. This one I'm just bringing up because I think it's hilarious. Their new policy on abuse. Quote, you may not engage in the targeted harassment of someone or incite other people to do so. We consider abusive behavior in attempts to harass, intimidate, or silence someone else's voice. End quote. That sounds exactly like what you guys are doing here. Already violating your own policies, huh? Though as funny as this is, it's not nearly as funny as YouTube's automated bot accidentally flagging an official Google Chromebook ad as spam. In case you needed any more evidence that YouTube's bot is shit, there you go. But either way, that's a little bit off topic. Just one more and I'm gonna leave for the day. Hateful conduct. Quote, you may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or serious disease. End quote. Most of you are probably not going to see any problem here, but think about it for a second. This entire hateful conduct policy could have been abbreviated as such. You may not promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people. That could have been it. But they had to lay out the conditions that you can't promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people for. Which seems to imply that there are reasons that Twitter will let you promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people. Maybe this is going to be one of their own loopholes that they're going to put in, because notice that political views are not listed anywhere in there. In which case, it's perfectly okay to promote violence against the far right, for instance. It's okay to threaten or harass them. Yeah, I know this may come off as a bit of a conspiracy theory, but what other reason would they have for not just saying you can't promote violence against, threaten, or harass other people and just not have any conditions, just leave it at that? That would seem pretty reasonable, don't you agree? I believe they wrote this policy the way they did because they have groups of people that they believe is okay to promote violence against, threaten, or harass. Though that's just my opinion anyway. I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Tell me in the comment section, what other reason can you guys think for them not just blanketly saying you cannot promote violence against, threaten, or harass any other people, period? Why did they have to add a whole bunch of conditions to that? I'm not lying either. I'm honestly curious as to what you guys think about this. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with that I probably missed. That's all I gotta say, guys. Thanks for listening.